So then there are a few additional examples. KYC chain, that is basically for identity management. I'll not get into details of it. I'll share the slide. Again, all of you, I think, have gone through some of the decentralized application examples. So we have discussed so far on automated agents, AA, then decentralized applications, right? Then there is something happening very interesting called decentralized organizations, right? Again, it is not a new concept. It actually came from the human resources philosophy, right? Rather than the higher management always taking the decision, can the employees be empowered to take decisions, right? So that is where your voting rights or the decision power now. Most of the startups actually start with that, right? So generally in big organizations, if you think of any big organizations like let's say Coca-Cola, Facebook, or Amazon, right? So it is always the top management who takes the decision, right, about any company's mission, vision, or how the where the company is going to invest, right? What is the salary structure and everything, anything related to that company, right? Most of the times, who takes the decision? The higher management. Second aspect is there is a legal structure around it. If Facebook wants to hire employees from India, right? That it can happen in two ways. Either Facebook should have an office in India, right? Or Facebook, that Indian employee has to go on certain visa and work there, right? Or Facebook can take a help of, let's say, TCS or Infosys, who are Indian companies who will hire resources, let's say software engineers or developers, who will work for Facebook project or Google's project, right? So there are these different legal structures around it, right? It cannot happen that you, let's say, you are a very good software developer from India and you want to work for Facebook, sitting at home, you can work for Facebook. It won't be legally possible. Either you have to go through this kind of routes, right? Either you will join a Facebook India company here, the India office, or you have to have a visa to go there, or you have to kind of go through a third party agency, right? So that is, so what I mean to say is every organization, whether it is inside India, outside India, anything in this world, right, are kind of bound by their country's legal definition of a company. There are company regulations which they have to abide by, and most of the times decisions are taken by kind of the higher management, right? Let's say there are people across USA, Europe, different countries, and you want to come together and build a let's say charity for COVID, or certain event management company, or digital marketing company, right? It is basically kind of impossible, right? You can work like that, but if I am going to create organizations, it will be very difficult. So again, you have to decide where your company will be registered, which name it will be given, that it need to have certain trademark, right? Where that website servers will be lying, right? So a lot of challenges of creating a company, unless all your resources are inside that country, that geographical boundary, right? So the concept of decentralized organizations came from the HR concept, where people started thinking, why always that higher management, few 3 or 5 people are going to take decision about a company's future? Why it cannot be like through all the employees, right? Why it cannot be decentralized, right? So it started with that concept, with which lot of startups actually have that kind of uh, mode of working. Then now it has been crossed the barrier of this geographic boundary, right? Can a group of people across different geographies, across different countries, come together and work for a single mission or a single objective? It can be an event management company, it can be a let's say charity. Let's say for COVID, you want to support uh, or fund certain money for certain diseases or for COVID, let's say, right? Why it need to be confined between a single geographic boundary or single country, right? So that is where the concept of decentralized organizations came, right? Starting with that philosophy of HR, that why only few people in the higher management are going to take decision, right? So this is what the single not anything with blockchain. The simple concept of decentralized organization is when employees are empowered to have a voice inside company, right? Then if I extend it to using blockchain, right, can people across different geographical boundaries setups come together and create this kind of decentralized applications, which we discussed in earlier slide, right? And we can create an organization out of it, right? So anybody is free to join, will have certain access to that organization. uh, my code, my algorithm will be open, right? I am not the owner, neither you are the owner, right? Group of people who have bought token out of it, like people buy shares, right? But generally what happens, company, there is a higher management, CEO, board of directors, people like you and me, though have a we have a voting power, right? But most of the time decision is taken by the those board of directors because they have a higher percentage of whatever the share in that company, right? But here what will happen, anybody who joins or who works an organization have equal say, equal vote. It doesn't depend upon, okay, I have somebody, let's say ITC, or somebody, let's say HUL, because Unilever have a higher percentage of shareholder pattern in Hindustan Unilever. So it doesn't mean that they will have the more power of say, right? So that is the difference between a normal organization and a decentralized organization. It doesn't matter how much money you have invested. Each person, each individuals who are participating, who is working for that organization, will have a equal say, right? So that is where the power of decentralization or decentralized organization comes into picture, right? So you can own building, right? Like I was giving an example, right? A lot of smart contracts, or lot or one, I'll not say lot of, few huge cases of smart contracts can be across sharing of buildings, sharing of infrastructure, sharing of automobiles, right? And there are companies who have started using or doing it, right? Uh, Earlier, like I think we discussed in this example, none of us, or most of us, won't have money to buy a big bungalow or big apartment across these fancy locations, right? But we do go in vacations for 3 days or 5 days or 10 days, right, in a year. So rather than going and renting a place, looking for hotels, if I want to kind of rent and have that ownership for that 10 or 15 or 1 month for that particular vehicle, or for that particular uh, apartment, right? So see the impact of decentralized organization. A group of individuals can come together, create a decentralized organization, and own an apartment, own an vehicle, right? And all that implementation, everybody has equal say, right? Everybody will contribute equally, and everybody will have the equal duration of whatever ownership, right? And it will be all executed through a smart contract. So there is no single person will say that, okay, no, I paid larger amount of money, and so whatever I say, that will happen, right? Or you want to uh, building a venture capitalist company, you want to invest in the share market, right? So rather than having that kind of structure of venture capitalist, it can be very open one. Anybody can join and anybody can have a say around it, right? So this is why the concept of decentralized organization have started working. Then if I take it little bit further, there is, and which will be like main topic of discussion whatever time we have left for today's class. There is something very interesting which is happening called decentralized autonomous organization. So what we discussed in decentralized organizations, there is no central authority who is taking the decision, right? Every employee, every like kind of stakeholder in that organization have equal say, right? They have a voice about what that organization should do. Now what will happen, all these decisions, rather than humans taking coming together and taking that decision, can it be automated? Can it be worked through a smart contract rather than humans taking all these decisions? Where to invest, let's say as a company we come together and where to invest, uh, or kind of what kind of let's say we created a organizations will collect charity, right, for different causes. So generally what will happen, one of my friend is working in a organization called Give India, right? So I was talking to him, I think few months back. So he was telling the main challenge a few years back, 2 years back, was getting a fund for certain diseases, certain like issues. And last 2 years, they have got so much funding, like for due to COVID. Lot of people came forward and started donating money. Now the challenge is where to invest that kind of money. Not invest, where to kind of put that kind of money, put that money to use. So see the change, like at certain point of time, they did not have money to, they want to use that money for different causes. Flood happened, like earthquake happened, and they did not have enough donations. And last 2 years, due to COVID, donations have skyrocketed like anything. So now what will happen? Who is going to, like, where to, which causes should be that money should be put for, right? So generally what happens, higher management or those employees who are taking care of that charity, they'll get together, they'll brainstorm, they'll discuss, and they'll kind of put that money to use, right? But rather than people coming together making that decision, can it be automated? Can those smart contract, or can a logic can be put that, okay, at this point of time, if it will go through certain feeds, it will look into where we have already invested or where we have put money. So these, let's say if we get a charity of 10 crores or 20 crores or 50 crores, out of that 5 crore will be go to, like, let's say child support, 10 crores will go for central government, let's say flood or earthquake, this kind of natural disasters, 15 crores for building infrastructure at across villages, right? If already that kind of our whatever our mission or vision has been written through a logic, whenever we are collecting money, so we need not have to have a human intervention. We need not have to have people who will sit at a table discuss. That discussion part can be automated. So this is the main difference with decentralized organization and decentralized autonomous organizations. So decisions are not taken by the humans. In decentralized organization, all the employees will have equal stake on taking the decisions, but humans are going to take decisions. In decentralized autonomous organizations, whatever you put in that smart contract, whatever you put in that logic, right, that itself will be binding, right? So there is no human interaction or intervention who are going to take decisions, right? Then second part is, most of the times, not always, most of the times they will always have that internal capital, right? So internal capital means they will be working on certain cryptocurrencies, based upon certain cryptocurrencies, right? Because again, if you are using a blockchain platform to carry out those kind of smart contracts or logics, right, I need to have usage of certain cryptocurrencies, because it cannot happen that, okay, you all do these activities and donate these 10 crores INR, right, from that bank, right? So that won't happen. All these transactions, all this everything, whatever is happening, donations or let's say acquiring of, let's say if I'm a venture capitalist and I want to invest certain amount of money, it need to happen. So when I talk about this internal capital, it is nothing but it need to have usage of this cryptocurrency, right? So that is the second aspect. In decentralized organization, if I'm just talking about a standard normal company, right, startup, right, so they need not have to their internal capital, right? It is a kind of a business structure how they are working. But when I talk about the decentralized autonomous organization, because we need to have smart contract. If we have to have smart contract, that means we need to have blockchain. If you need to have blockchain, that means we need to have internal capital or use of cryptocurrency. So that is the two ways how decentralized autonomous organizations differ from decentralized organizations. Uh, there is a company, if you recently, I was reading that news, I think yesterday only, and I always forget that person's name. I was looking at his video. See, one of the key huge case of decentralized autonomous organizations will happen in this kind of music industry. See, how does this music industry work? Let's say T Series, Sony, or if you go to USA, there are a lot of label companies, right? How do they like generally make profit? So they will go to different concert, different local kind of areas, clubs, uh, and there will be like kind of these scouts or agents, and they will be looking for these kind of individuals, this kind of artists who are kind of generally growing their following, right? Think about any big artist in USA, Kanye West, Jay-Z, or anybody you can think of, rappers or hip hoppers, right? So they start with small clubs. They start for right now this American Idol, or even in India, Indian Idols are happening, right? 10 years back, when Arijit Singh, I think, I don't know which, so he got rejected, but he did not win that competition. He went to some, I think, Indian Idol or Saregama, whichever competition, and he actually was not the finalist. I think he was the finalist, but he did not win at the end. But right now, he is one of the biggest singer of biggest and best, to be honest, singer at least in this country. So now what happens? If somebody, some record company, some agent have got to know about his talent, right, and started managing him from 10 years back, right? So generally what happens, most of the record label companies do that. So they start to hire this kind of artists who believe that they have a lot of potential, and they kind of share the profit or share the revenue, right? And most of the time, the lion's share is taken care by them, because they say that, okay, we are doing the marketing for you, we are doing everything for you. So whatever revenue you generate for next 10 years, right? And that is a legal contract. So we will take 50 or 60% out of that. Most of the in USA, Europe, Western countries happen like that. So these record or the label companies, they will have basically the studios, right? So they will acquire this raw talent, they will market them, they will bring their records, bring their labels, and they will take a lion's share, 60 percentage around of the revenue what they generate, and 40 percentage or 30 percentage will go to the artist, right? Because now we are talking about lot of the power of internet, right? Lot of artists have gone freelance, right? Rather than taking a help of record company, they are started creating their own label, right? But it will not happen for a small artist who will believe that, okay, this person is going to do big. Think about a person who started singing in TikTok or say Instagram, right? If you believe that that person is going to be a very good singer in future or very good artist in future, right? And as a company, as few friends, you start an organization, you create a decentralized organization and start promoting that. You invest, obviously you have to put certain money, and you start uh, kind of putting that money on that artist, creating. So that is where the concept of non-fungible tokens are coming. So whatever that artist create, the digital art, songs, that can be converted into tokenized into a non-fungible token. We'll discuss that later on, what is a non-fungible token. Just think it as a digital asset. And so think about in this way, as a friend, let's say one of your friend is a very good singer and you want to promote that. A few group of friends will come together and create a decentralized organization and start promoting, start investing money and start promoting that friend. Now what will happen? The big record company do not have that ownership on that artist's revenue. You as small those fans or those people who started believing in that artist from the very beginning, they are actually going to get the revenue share once that artist gets big, right? So that is the power of decentralization. That is the power where those single big organization used to make a lot of profit, right? Now the power will come to the common people like you and me, right? Who can create organization, right? So if you see this Jenny DAO, right? Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So now what they are doing, they have started collecting. So they are you can be part of that organization, but what is the mission or vision of that company? So they have started collecting NFTs, they have started collecting or funding those so this example what I just gave, so they actually are doing that. So they have started kind of promoting artists. marketing or kind of creating labels or creating records for them, right? So basically whatever that artist revenue will generate, some part of that will come back to this decentralized organization, right? And whoever is the part of that decentralized organization will get a benefit out of it, right? There is one company called MakerDAO, which is basically the like one of the biggest companies, this decentralized autonomous organization, right? So that is basically lending. Uh, Rather than going to bank to take money, if you can take a lot of individuals can get together and create this kind of company, decentralized organization, where lending rate is autonomically designed. The rules or the logic or the smart contract is already established, right? And you can lend money and take an interest out of that money, right? Lot of decentralized finance is based upon that concept, lending money and investing it somewhere, right? So that is the how the this kind of organization have started building up, decentralized autonomous organization. And any questions on this? So difference between traditional and decentralized autonomous organizations, usually part fully democratized. That means every individual who is taking part of that organization have a equal vote or equal voice. Voting required by members for any changes to be implemented. It is not that okay, higher management, CEO or board of directors are going to take a decision automatically again through that software or through that algorithm. Okay, we want to invest in that through that smart contract. It can be invested. Services offered are handled automatically in a decentralized manner. So like I said, if I want to collect a fund from charity, right, where that fund will be automatically invested, automatically distributed, right? So we can write a smart contract and we need not have to have a human involvement out of that. All activities is transparent and fully public, right? So that is again, that is the logic behind any decentralized applications, right? It has to be public, it has to be transparent. That means everybody. So when I say transparent, again, it is not that who is taking part, that privacy is disclosed, but what that organization is doing, where that fund is going to get distributed, that part is transparent, but your user identity is still hidden, right? If you want, you can still keep it hidden unless it is a something of proof of authority where that authority need to be known, right? So so this is basically, if you look into the left side of so what do you mean by this automation at the edges and human at the edges, right? How much involvement of who is at the center of the company and who is taking the decision, right? So if I think about boring old like existing traditional organization, think about any company which you are going to join, right? So all the decisions are being taken by humans, right? Softwares or the whatever logic. Think about any software what you are using. It is just helping us to take the decisions, right? But any decisions is taken by humans. Humans are the center. Human are at the edges. Uh, any activity is being done by the humans, right? So that is the meaning of humans are at the edges. Decisions are taken by the humans. That's why humans are at the centers. So if I say humans at centers, humans at edges, so that is the boring old organizations, the traditional organizations. If you look at humans at centers and automation at the edges, so that is already executed. Robots, if you go to an assembly line, humans will actually program the robot. Okay, you want to cut or make a hole of this much diameter. This is the dimension or this much the contour for which the design or cut or that assembly will happen, right? Robot will do. The activity will be done by the robots, right? So that is the automation. Automation at the edges. Decision is taken by the humans. Humans are at the center. If I go into this part, automation at the center, humans are at the edges. Humans are becoming the shareholders. Humans are becoming the who will get the profit, right? Be it of the charity program or be it for the lending, like kind of organization like MakerDAO, or be it like kind of that Jenny DAO, which is basically investing in NFT or artist, right? but the decision again is being taken by the algorithm, the smart contract. Humans are the beneficiaries, right? Humans are the stakeholders, right? So that is how the decentralized autonomous organizations comes into picture. Automation at the center, that means the smart contracts are taking all the decisions. Humans are the beneficiaries. Final one will be the human involvement, which is basically think of everything is artificially like artificial intelligence. Everything is think about automated cars will go uh, into a checkpoint. They'll give all those maintenances done by robots. So everything is automated, right? So there is no human interaction at all, right? So in that case, again, which is the final artificial intelligence people are thinking of, right? But right now, if I think about the organizations, we are still at this kind of traditional organizations taking help of robots in assembly line, and gradually some of these kind of new concepts are coming, like decentralized organizations or decentralized autonomous organizations, right? uh, One key difference between this left structure or hierarchy and right structure, uh, like I said, any decentralized autonomous organizations has to happen, right? It need to have a internal capital that need to work on certain cryptocurrency, because you are using a this kind of blockchain platform. You need to have a blockchain platform behind it, right? But if it is no internal capital, there are others also, like web services, forums, right? You can create a Wikipedia. There is no financial capital around it, right? So there are also structures around that. We will not get into that because we are just looking into the blockchain related use cases. So we'll put our focus on this kind of what we have discussed so far. Decentralized autonomous organizations, a decentralized organization, which is basically the difference is in decentralized organizations, still humans make decisions. In decentralized autonomous organizations, the decisions or the logic is being driven by a smart contract, right? Any questions or any doubt on this? Okay, so we'll stop here for today. I'll be sharing the slides. Please go through it, and I'll be also sharing the recordings if some of you need it. So the quiz number 2 will happen next class, covering cryptocurrency, smart contract, and decentralized applications. Okay. Any last questions before I close this session?
Sir, I missed my attendance.
284. Yeah. Okay.
Sir, 322. I also missed my attendance.
322. Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So 109 also missed the attendance. She's disconnected. She texted me now.
Okay.
Hello.